Hi channel! Welcome to Buffalo. And as you can see, we have loaded up the PMDG NGX, the 737. It's the 700 variant, and we are doing a I did a flight yesterday that I have to edit because it ended up being really long, but it was amazing. And it was the runway 19 visual into Washington DC, the Ronald Reagan. But and the weather was just horrendous, and I slammed it into the ground, and I almost went off the runway at the end, and oh my goodness, I should have gone around obviously, but I was just sort of, since it was such a long flight, I just really wanted to get on the ground. As also I had like lots of frame rate issues due to basically my settings, which I've been tweaking a little bit, and it looks like I'm doing better. As you can see right now, we're getting 40 frames, inside we're getting 20 frames. I mean, I know it's not ideal, but it's better than what I had before. So let's just get this started. We're going down to Washington DC, and it's going to be a pretty crazy flight, or at least a fun approach. It was really fun yesterday, so I'll try it again today. Go ahead, and I have it hooked up to ground power, and so things are sort of getting ready here.
Kilo Bravo Uniform Foxtrot Airport information. Echo 1654 Zulu weather wind 321 at 7 visibility 10 sky condition few clouds at 4000 8500 scattered 6000 scattered temperature 27 dew point 16 altimeter 3010 advice on initial contact. You have information. Echo Kilo Bravo Uniform Foxtrot Airport information. Echo 1654.
Okay, so that's weather. We have northerly winds, not too bad. It will be, should be fine, the departure. And there's no real airways from out here, so it's going to be a slightly different sort of programming of the FMSs. So it's K-buff, gate 5. It's not going to take that. Yeah, not in database. And K-buff to KDCA. And yes, it is a company route. And we are flight number UL672. Catering done, and we are taking off today, runway 32. Sounds like it aligns with the weather pretty much perfectly. And the departure, I think there is no SID, so we can just skip that. Okay, that's perfect. The arrival though, we want the NUMMI 2. NUMMI 219. And we want run yeah, we just do the RNAV 19. I did that last time, and that was kind of smart. I'll show you here. I'm just trying to pull up the charts here, and I keep pushing. Bringing up come on, Navgraph. Oh, what happened here? Why didn't open at first? Or second? Okay, so here we go. Flights. New flight. KBAF. KDCA. KBAF. KDCA. And the alternative can be Kia. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. KBAF KDCA. And yeah, it's not Houston, so that was the wrong, but whatever. There we go. This KBAF charts and Ronald Reagan charts. So if you look at the approach plates here, there's the RNAV 19 can go into visual. So so this is the visual approach. It goes from Fergie. We could try and do that, but I'm just going to program in the RNAV, which also goes from Fergie and has all the points. Puts it in the FMS, and you can fly it down. And you can cancel it on, what does it say? You can go visual. Aircraft may visually follow the river to the airport or may proceed via the RNAV 19 approach to the Seatock waypoint, then follow the river to the airport. So you can go all the way down here to the Georgetown Reservoir and then do under IMC conditions, which is what I did yesterday because the visibility was so terrible, and then I flew the visual from there in. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to do today too, and yes, I do think we'll do it from Fergie. Another thing that I learned how to do yesterday was this. That was difficult for me to get this in. The first time I managed to get it into the thing. So I have 3 copies of this open. So you can go in here. You can paste. You can go KBUF, and then you can go KDCA. But you do have to remove the SIDS and stars. And hopefully that'll work. Now where should save, and then you will even see this on the charts here. Very nice. There is a symlink thing. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is it seems like that can create some types of problems. So what we'll do is we will go Fergie because we're going to come down here, and then we're going to go to Fergie. So we will go Fergie as our transition. That's what I wanted to see. There is bound to be some issues here. Yeah, there is a vectoring part here, so once you get to AML, I guess they vector you towards Fergie. Let's see how we go, and maybe we'll do that, or maybe we won't. One thing we will do is we will have to find our cruise altitude, which is flight level 370. But we also have to do the fuel. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, reserve for this flight is 1.6. Cost index, let's do 70. I think that's what I did yesterday. Not that it really matters. 5.2 is what we planned for. We have 5.4 above, so that should be fine. Flight level 370. Okay, the transition altitude is 18,000, I think. Yeah, we'll do normal takeoff, and we'll do flaps 5. No descent after AML makes perfect sense. Okay, and yeah, I think that's the FMS programmed. What happened to the V-speeds? Yeah, then we can see what does the trees and poles to the right of center lane. Climb heading 380 into leaving 3,000 feet. Okay. I think what we're going to do here is almost like a manual departure. It's going to be kind of fun. So we're here, so we're going to park somewhere along here. We're going to be push back, turn left, taxi over down to gate to runway 32, taxiway Delta. Oh yeah, we need to do boarding, but we're just gonna request pushback and departure here. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Go ahead and close the doors. A little too quick on the trigger here now.
Captain, we are ready for pushback.
Pitot covers can come off, air conditioning can come off.
Locking gear. Departure check completed. Light has been inserted. Release parking brakes. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start that wheel.
Go ahead and start engine 2. Add fuel. This is Flytampa's Buffalo. Not an airport I've flown much in and out of, to be honest, but it's quite nice, and the performance seems to have gotten better in this newest version. I always kind of felt like this was a bit of a sort of dog performance-wise, that you get less frames than their other offerings. It looks good now. Let's first cut out. Let's go ahead and start the second engine. Add the fuel.
Set parking brakes.
Really like the 700. Got a nice little sort of sporty look to it.
Unlocking gear.
Little chubby, but I mean, so much wing, you know.
Bypass being removed.
I love that. Okay.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Yeah, this one I almost forgot. Flight level 370. And the landing altitude in DC was like at zero basically. Something I learned yesterday. I didn't know that it was so close to the ground, so close to sea level. And let's get the trim. Trim is 5.1. And we're setting flaps 5 for takeoff. And out of braking, go to RTO. I turn on our transponder. Today, as always, we're skulking VFR. There's another AI. I'm running Ultimate Traffic live with some success. I'm fairly happy with the results I'm getting. Especially the frame rates are much better than feared. I was worried about that, but it's been pretty good. The models aren't all up to snuff, but then again, there aren't that many prepared version 4 AI models ready. I mean, the ones that are good, they kind of have. They just have a little bit of outdated liveries and stuff. I will fix that over time, but I'm not messing with it right now. Really, I'm I'm gonna get a new sim computer and I'll do everything then. I'll do a completely fresh install, everything from scratch. It's been this is kind of like it really is a 4-year-old installation, and I can feel it. It's you can tell that it's old, but hopefully with a new computer I'll get frame rates like this everywhere. It's not so bad. 28, 29, 30, that's what I want. If I can get that with a bit of eye candy like here, I'll be very happy. Let's see, there's nobody on final. So let's ding the people. Turn on the takeoff lights. And let's switch on the chrono. Taxi up the runway and we'll get out of here. Put terrain on this side and weather on this side. Come on. Yeah, traffic. The range because this is such a weird double takeoff. But anyway, so what it wants us to do, 3,000 feet, then at heading of 318, we'll just do that, I think. 40% N1, stable, yep, toga. Knots. V1. Rotate. Exactly doing what I said I would do here because I was looking outside. That's 3,000. And let's pretend at this point we'll get vectored towards our next fix. 10,000 feet. Level change. Very fast. Look at that though, that's a beautiful sight, guys. Amazing. That's Envtex clouds, active sky, ASP4 is which is what they call it now, I guess. this point, let's imagine that they're clearing us to buff. And so that's LNAV. And they're clearing us all the way up to our flight level, which is 370. Yeah, and that's us. Our gear is up. Our landing lights can come off. Switches can come off continuous. And our flaps are up. Auto brake is up. And we have climbed like a rocket out of Buffalo here. I think at this point we'll go ahead and we'll release the passengers too. Really love the NGX. It is so much fun to fly and so beautiful. I like how there's a reasonable amount of workload in this plane. It's not just buttons and watch it go. These stretchy clouds here though, don't like. What is up with those? These so beautiful, these so not beautiful. It's got a pretty long direct section here. As you can see, it's not that far though. Once we get to our top of climb, our top of descent is pretty much immediately after that, or fairly close to being after that. Anyways, got a nice tailwind here too, 21 knots. You know what, let's just take a little bit more longer looking at the scenery, and then we'll start programming the descent. We'll program in the descent forecast and that sort of stuff. Look at this. This is Open LC US. It looks fantastic. I've hardly flown in the US with airliners. I've mostly flown GA in the US on the West Coast, but it's getting there. The performance is getting there. You can actually do it now. And I got this Drzewiecki Design Washington DC, and that was so much fun. I am very excited about doing this again, even though I'm not entirely convinced I won't mess it up. It was very difficult. It was very difficult. It looks so great. It looks so great. But my biggest I've investigated my performance issues, and my biggest takeaway was that, you know what, cars are potentially an enormous frame rate hog. They took 10 frames per second away from me in the DC area. 10. That's more than AI traffic and autogen put together. It was insane. I still think the plane is actually the biggest performance hog, but you need the plane, right? can't fly without it. Okay, yeah, we can set standard. And let's get going on now that descent forecast. So, I think it's under descent forecast, and you can program your descent. I get this data from Active Sky, no, from PFPX, which gets it from Active Sky. So we'll start with let's start with 290. Actually, let's start with 360. 360, and the winds at 360 is 263 at 17. And then we'll go 290. And the winds at 290 is 352 at 10. And finally, we'll do 1400, which is 16 at 19. .016 at 19. It's actually quite a bit of winds as we descend 7,000 feet. See 26 knots at 21. Yeah. We can execute that. I think what should happen when we execute that, it should hopefully move the top percent, or recalculate them at least, which I think it did. Probably didn't make much of a difference. Outside temperature is -2. We can turn on the anti-ice. I should have done that earlier. TCAS is showing us a plane right next to us. Right behind us and to our left. Or to our right. Seems we're leaving it in our dust, and I think this means we're 16,000 above it. I don't know, but it could be that's what it means. See if the weather's any better today than it was yesterday. It's hard pressed to be any worse anyway. Okay, we can also let's do the descent checklist here. We'll do flaps 40 at 127 today. I don't remember if that's what I did yesterday, if I did 30, but I should have done 40. Okay. So, the way this will work, I think, is we will go that's obviously the wrong Fergie. That's weird, it doesn't give you a chance to sort of change which Fergie it is. Okay, anyways. Yeah, you can't just add it either. Okay, anyways. It's kind of neat, the thing here. Anyways, when we come in here, there's a lot of us for us to deal with. First, we're gonna have to sort of vector ourselves from RML to Fergie. That's number one. And then when we get to Fergie, we will have this, and we have these two to deal with, these two charts to deal with. Yeah, so we have a minimum of 1500. We can put that in already. And that's if we want to go to C-Talk, which I think we probably will just in any case. So yeah, reported minimums of 1500. Also, by the time we want to get to C-Talk, we want to be fully configured. That's doable. Here we want to be max 210 knots at Fergie. I think I want to be less than that, to be honest with you, but anyways, so, and we want to be at 3000 at Fergie. What we'll do is we'll just skip this vectoring part and we'll just do this. This way we are basically saying that once we get to AML, we are going to take a sharp left turn, and we're going to go straight to Fergie, and we're going to follow this down. Once we get to C-Talk, we will cancel. We'll take out the autopilot and finish visually, if the weather allows for that. A lot of planes around us. And today it's a beautiful day. Yesterday was horrendous, and look at today, it's pretty damn nice. Just try and tweak some of these views ever so slightly. Yeah, here we come in on those sort of ridges that you see going up and down the American coast. It's kind of neat. It's up and down the American west coast. I don't know what those mountains are called or anything, but I do like them. Taking the time to update my cameras. I know that then probably won't help. What I need is I need some sort of system to organize them, so that I can quickly switch between the camera views that I know that I want. So I need like a, I don't have a numpad on my keyboard, which, because I use the Thrustmaster joystick, I find it hard to sort of fit a full-size keyboard in between there. But I can't begin to tell you how often I've regretted that decision. I really needed to assign things like this, like assign views and the such, you know. Lovely contrails from FX packages. So this is pretty much my favorite view, because it's quick and easy to look around. It's just a spot view where you track the camera and you just increase the speed of the camera. Behaves just like the FSX or prepared standard spot view, except that it dampens. So once you spin, it'll come to a slow to a halt like that. Okay, so we are at our cruise altitude. We talked a little bit about what we're going to do once we get there, but I think before we start looking at that again, I'm just going to reset the MCP altitude, and this time I'm going to set it to 1500. The next thing I will do is I will actually tune the radios. I will tune this one, the 1111.0. Also wondering if I should just tune this one 3.5, but I don't think I need to. But I'll tune the Georgetown, Washington. Is it ADF? NDB 323. Okay, and another thing I did was, for this RNAV approach, the visual anyway, what I did is I tuned in roughly sort of the course here the last time I did it, but I think today I'm actually going to tune in the direction of the type in some fixes. We're gonna do a 3 mile radial. Yeah, so that's the extended center line. I'm doing that for the radio, and then we're doing do another one. But this one I'm gonna do more like an extended sort of rough approach. And the rough approach, as far as I see it, is yeah, more or less this one. You know, like a 149. More or less aligned with this one. So we do 149, and we do 149 at 6. And finally we'll do another 149, but this time at 10. Should be where Fergie is, roughly. Okay, so that's our little that's our fixes here. So you won't end up just messing with us. Final is 184. That's the runway. So I'm just gonna put the course to the runway. Down we go. It is an exceptionally improved day from yesterday. Yesterday was the worst. It was such high winds and thunderstorms and no visibility and just horrendous weather. Today I think this can be completed. Yeah, what I meant to do, which I didn't do, was this. I meant to go in here and load the flight plan. So we can find out what the weather is at our destination.
Kilo Delta Charlie Alpha Airport information India 1730 Zulu weather wind 351 at 7 visibility 10 sky clear temperature 24 dew point 9er altimeter 3004 advise on initial contact. You have information India Kilo Delta Charlie Alpha Airport information India 1730 Zulu weather wind 351 at 7 visibility 10 sky clear temperature 24 dew point 9er altimeter 3004 advise on initial contact. You have information India.
So the weather is kind of the opposite though of what it should be for this approach. I just don't understand it. So here we have runway 19, right? But the weather, the weather is sort of, the wind is coming from the opposite direction. I just don't understand it. That's so odd. Well, whatever. We'll do it with some tailwind. I think 7 knots tailwind you could probably do. We'll go ahead and max tailwind 737 700. $50 knots. We can do it. We'll be a little fast, but hopefully I'll be a little bit more precise this time and not float as much as I did yesterday. I don't think it will be a problem if you touch down earlier than I did yesterday. I mean, I realize you guys haven't seen my flight yesterday yet because I need to, like I said, edit it for length. But that was a terrible landing. Let's just put it that way. Yesterday it was horrendous. It was probably the worst landing I've ever done in the NGX, at least sort of since I started. At least one that I really tried to not... I didn't try anything. Well, I was trying to make it as good as possible, and it just absolutely failed it completely. I really almost killed everybody on board. It was horrible. And normally that can happen when I don't take it seriously or anything, but I was really not trying to mess it up. It was just the weather and the inclement conditions that, you know, I shouldn't have been doing what I was doing. I should have gone around, and I should have actually diverted into what's it called, Kia or whatever, the Dulles. I should have diverted into Dulles and done the ILS, not some sort of crazy visual or you know, down a river where you can't see. But it's fun. It sure was fun. Let's see if we can't, we'll have to tune in here too, and let's see if we can't get some chatter and stuff going on. So around Gettysburg and stuff, it seems like. Mid-Atlantic region. I am going to try something that I haven't tried in a while. I'm going to try to use the limiter from in here. I don't normally do this, but let's try it today. Let's see if we can set it to 30 and let's see how it will affect our scene reloading and frame rates. You see frame rates immediately dipped to 20 instead of 25, and when I go outside I guess they'll be 30, but I really think the setting VSync is the best way to set a frame rate limiter. I really do. Because if you look at this, now by setting the frame rate limiter in sim, get really terrible frames inside here. So let me just go back and I'll show you what I mean. Go to display here, we'll set this back to unlimited. We'll be back up to 25 frames per second in the cockpit. least I hope. Yeah, 26, 25, see? Much better. And then what we can then do, and this will be, I'll show you how this looks. Go to the NVIDIA control panel, and I'll select my custom 30 Hz resolution. You can do this while you're in the sim too, it's kind of neat. Keep that, and I'll close this. Go in here now and you see that my mouse pointer and everything is a little bit shorter, so it's still doing 25, 26 in here. Go outside, what's it doing? It's doing 30. So it's limiting the frame rate without limiting the frame rate, without making it slower than it needs to be. So it is capping the frame rate at 30, which means that at this point hopefully it should be using its resources on loading scenery and the extra resources, those frame rates that it's not using. So it's still using quite high GPU or CPU, but it's not but it should be using that to load more scenery. Okay, because at auto brake we're getting there. We are getting there, you guys. And we'll tell those people to sit back down. So this should be Dulles. Yeah, that's Dulles down there, which I guess isn't in Washington DC per se, but it's more like sort of outside Arlington, Virginia, or whatever it's called. I think it's Virginia. I don't know. And there's the Potomac River over there that will take us into Washington DC. I don't have the flight beam scenery for Dulles, but I do think that would be really fun to have. It looks really nice. Stop saying the descent path unachievable. It's so annoying. Especially since you just spent all that time not asking me for drag. "10,000 feet. We go ahead and turn on those landing lights. Coming up on our decel point. And what we're going to do if this is so unachievable is we're actually going to take out the gear. So we do do want to be at 3000 Fergie, which is only like 5 miles away. 10 miles away. It's only 5, yeah, so 10 miles away, 5,000 feet. Could go. Good work. Performing pretty well without the traffic. I have to say, this is doable. We will, I love this. I love this VSync tweak. It's Rob Ainscoe that sort of first brought it to my attention. I know not just me, everybody, but it's, for me, it's really worked. It's really helped with stutters and stuff in prepared version 3, and in version 4 it just seems to help with generally sort of managing everything a little bit better. Go ahead and switch into level change. And let's see if it can't catch up. We are way above, so that's 1500 though, which we need at Sethook, which is doable. It's just this 3000 at Fergie seems unachievable. Switch this to continuous. Well, it's not so bad. I think we're capturing it, guys. Go ahead and arm the spoilers now that we have what we need. See the reservoir there on our left ahead of us. A quick review of the charts might be in order. So the reservoir 1500, key bridge, just as the next bridge 900. And we're going to cross the right to those two last bridges, and the roads with these here we're going to aim for 500 over the Arlington Memorial Bridge. Whew. This is stressful. Love it. See, there's the airport over there. close to minimums here. We're gonna go ahead and take out the autopilot. We're fully configured. 1,500 feet. Next check is 900 over those two bridges coming up. The throttle can come out too. Last time I had it in the whole time because I thought it would make it easier, but I messed up on the final and I floated. So 900, we're at 1,000, so we need to increase our descent a little bit here. This is a very different approach from yesterday. 700, we're still like about 100 over. And I think today I won't start to turn too late, which I also did yesterday. So it's that runway here, which seems like almost crazy. But yeah, you come in here, you start to turn. A lot of rudder this time. Wait.
50, 30, 20, 10.
Yeah. That was more successful. It's the nuts. I'll take the last one. That was pretty good, all things considered. Once again, I started my turn a little too late, but not so bad. Definitely better. Let's take a look at the replay. It's a pretty sweet looking approach. Going by the reflection pool and the Washington Monument, all that sort of stuff. I love how there's actually trains on the runways too. Here you go, you see my turn. It's I actually at the end there, yeah, it's a little late. So I end up sort of skidding. I still have too much momentum bringing me through the turn. Let's skid back again. So I float a little bit, but not so bad today. Kind of understand the line. Not perfect, but not too bad either. And it's kind of at the end of the touchdown zone, but it was not too far away either. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I could have taken that exit, but I would risk it. I don't want to ruin my name down at the Ronald Reagan Airport. I know that prepared fanboy is going to come and just like do crazy approaches and really Everyone's lives in danger. Excited to upload yesterday's video. Okay, so let's see here. I had some sort of flight up in FlightAware at some point, didn't I? Here we go. And they landed at gate 40. Let's see if we can also get gate 40. Gate 40, please. No thanks. And I want it to be, let's do frontier. And let's figure out. Gate 40, so we're just gonna go take off here. We're gonna go up taxiway Juliet all the way until K1, and then we're gonna go over at the top there. Gate 40 should be at the final little box. I wonder if that's the gate I parked at yesterday. Flaps can come up. The speed brake can come up. It's already done that. Flight directors can come off. And the weather radar can go off, and yeah, there's no terrain radar on. I have to say, I quite like the DC airport that was included by Drzewiecki Design too, with the city scenery. It does work, and it does a fairly good job of not being horribly frame rate intensive, all things considered. All things considered, I'm pretty happy with this. Let's try and taxi proper. One thing that's kind of funny is they put Trump's 757 up at the gate here. I found that kind of hilarious the first time I saw it. Juliet, and we have 40, which is up here. Oops, N1. Yeah, it's N1, so we're gonna take a left here on K1. Where's my little marshaller? I don't have a marshaller? It's awfully sad. Let's try and stock up at the second here. Okay. Engines off. Seatbelt signs off. You parked a bit too far on the screw. Well, I got no marshaller. It's not that far, maybe. I don't know if that's strange, really, is it? Okay. That was the end of that flight. That was a good flight. I'm pretty happy with that. Yesterday was a disaster, but it was fun. And today was not a disaster, but it was still fun. I like this. It's a fun airport to fly into, and that approach is something special. And with the car traffic turned on, it's actually manageable even on my computer. So that's another thing I'm really happy with. It's actually doable. Look at this. I mean, it's a I don't want to call it a free airport, but it's a pretty sort of lightweight airport. You look at the textures and stuff, they're pretty basic. I wish they could do actually some slightly higher textures for the outside here, but I mean, they modeled the interior. That's pretty cool. They got chairs and Starbuckses and ceilings, internal texturing. It's pretty good. Drzewiecki Design, I'm telling you, it's pretty good stuff. Where's the entry to the gate? Yeah, that doesn't really exist. It doesn't matter either. This looks great. And this was a fun flight. Well, if you like what you see, by all means feel free to subscribe and leave me a comment, all that jazz. There's so many other good YouTubers out there too, so I really appreciate those who are watching. It's really fun to hear from you, and still good times to make these videos. I've not been making a lot of them lately, but you know, I'm on vacation, so this is my chance. It's only a few days now and I'll be back at work, and this will be distant memory for a long time to come. But look at this, it's a pretty cool city, man. There's the Pentagon. Boeing. Some cathedral. And yeah, the Washington Monument. The White House is in there somewhere. I don't know if you can see it from here. But you can see the Capitol. On the hill. And that's a cool place. It's a lot of things happening here. Very neat very neat scenery. I do think it really works. And its frame rate's not bad at all. Not when you turn off the cars anyway. Man, did I turn off everything? Parking brakes, all that sort of stuff? I did not. I need to turn off the pedos and all that sort of stuff. But that's not what you want to hear. Lights, I need to turn off these lights, of course, and the ARDU, the IRS is not the ARDUs, that's in the other plane. We can turn off the the emergency light, and finally the battery and the ground power. That's it, then we're back to cold and dark. Yeah, as I was saying, thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you next one. Bye bye.